Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Tesla's new Berlin battery factory, another Tesla recall, Ford competition heating up, Model S speed records, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, I've been reporting now about Tesla removing radar and removing lumbar support. Both of these are due to parts constraints at their core, and now Elon has finally opened up about the issues Tesla is dealing with regarding the chip shortage. Originally, Tesla said that they avoided global supply chain issues by, quote, pivoting extremely quickly to new microcontrollers. Now Elon has expressed that that issue is still at hand, saying, quote, our biggest challenge is supply chain, especially microcontroller chips. Never seen anything like it. Fear of running out is causing every company to overorder, like the toilet paper shortage, but at epic scale. That said, it's obviously not a long-term issue. At the same time, there have been various reports that Tesla is planning to pay in advance for chips, or even go as far as to buy a chip factory to supply them exclusively. This is an issue affecting all major automakers, and the latest vehicle launch affected is the new all-electric Nissan Ariya, which has now been delayed due to this issue. It looks like something that will continue to affect all vehicles for a long time going forward, including Tesla. Next up, Tesla is facing another recall for the Model 3 and Model Y. Recently, I reported on a recall that was a voluntary recall by Tesla for loose bolts. Tesla recalled a certain number of Model 3s and Model Ys, and now it has been confirmed to be around 6,000 vehicles. The brake caliper bolts could be loose, will eventually separate, and contact the wheel trim and result in loss of tire pressure in rare circumstances. Tesla has since fixed the issue on the assembly line and will be moving forward with this recall, so I'm sure a number of viewers will be getting emails or letters soon regarding this issue. It will likely just be a quick service appointment to inspect and tighten the bolt if necessary. The new recall Tesla is facing is actually two separate issues. They are also for the Model 3 and Model Y and relate to the front seat belts and retractors not being properly secured to the B-pillar. Quote, an improperly attached fastener may prevent the seatbelt system from performing as designed, increasing the risk of injury. For now, this affects certain Model 3s built between 2018 and 2020, along with certain Model Ys built between 2019 and 2021. It's around 5,530 cars being recalled for the B-pillar issue and 2,166 cars being recalled for the retractor issue. According to Tesla, there have been no injuries related to this issue, but the fix will be similar to the other recalls: examine, replace, and fix if necessary for free. Next up, some big news about Tesla and their future of battery production. As we've talked about for a while now, they will be building their own 4680 battery cells in the future to help with demand and also improve battery costs and functionality. They have their pilot plant running at Fremont right now, and this will likely cover the start of 4680 cell implementation into the new Model Y coming out of Texas and Berlin. Then they will be building new battery factories at their new Texas and Berlin factories, and now they have officially applied to manufacture battery cells at Giga Berlin. This will be the first full-scale battery factory that they will build to produce their new 4680 cells. Quote, the electric car manufacturer Tesla has officially applied to the state of Brandenburg for approval under emission control laws for the production of battery cells in Grünheide as ancillary equipment for vehicle production. The U.S. group has completely revised its application documents and submitted them to the State Office for the Environment Ministry, announced on Thursday. This is big news for the future of Tesla, since their new battery cells should come with significant advantages that help bring costs down while increasing range and performance. At the same time, Tesla will continue working with suppliers, and it is now reported that Tesla is planning to utilize LG Chem's new 90% nickel NCMA cathodes for Model Ys built in China. Tesla has used batteries from LG Chem and CATL in Shanghai to build their cars. Now, for the Model Y, they are planning to use this new NCMA cell that is composed of 90% nickel and trace amounts of other elements to make up the battery. This should reduce the cobalt content in the cathode by around 5%. Going forward, the goal is not to need cobalt in any of these cells, so Tesla will surely improve on this further in the long term. But for now, one of their goals has been to use more nickel. Back in 2020, Elon said, quote, well, I'd just like to re-emphasize any mining companies out there, please mine more nickel and don't wait for nickel to go back to some high point that you experienced some 5 5 years ago or whatever. Go for efficiency as environmentally friendly nickel mining at high volume. Tesla will give you a giant contract for a long period of time if you mine nickel efficiently and in an environmentally sensitive way. So hopefully this message goes out to all mining companies. It seems that Tesla is going forward with what they said and offering a big contract to LG Chem for making these nickel-focused cells. This should help contribute to longer ranges in Tesla vehicles, but it's unclear if they will be used in the 4680 cell form factor or not for the time being. Battery production and supply is one particular area that Tesla is thinking a lot about, while others tend to rely on suppliers. Going forward, this could cause quite a supply constraint as more and more EVs come to market and sell in larger numbers. On Thursday, Ford shares hit a 6-year high, and at its core, it's likely having to do with a jump Ford saw in EV sales. They saw a 184% surge in electric vehicle sales, mostly driven by their new popular Ford Mustang Mach-E. Total EV sales were 10,364 units in May, which is very high for Ford since they are still a gasoline-focused company for the time being. Over in Norway, battery electric vehicles made up 60.4% of all new cars sold last month, which is up from 43.1% a year ago. They are trying to be the first country to end the sale of gas and diesel engines by setting a date of 2025, and electric vehicles are extremely popular there as a result. In May, 1,384 Mustang Mach-E's were registered for a 10% share of Norway's overall market, and Tesla's Model 3 was 6th on the list, trailing behind a few other electric vehicles and even the Toyota RAV4 hybrid. Ford expects to continue leading sales of electric vehicles in Norway for the time being. Likely this will continue until Tesla actually releases the Model Y over there. The Model Y hasn't shipped in Europe yet, and Tesla is waiting for their Gigafactory Berlin to build that car at the end of this year to introduce it there. So for the time being, Ford is beating Tesla in Norway, but how are they doing in the United States, and how is it affecting Tesla? According to Ford's former CEO Mark Fields regarding Tesla and Elon Musk, quote, "He has real competition now, and that's why you're seeing some of their share in some of the major markets under a lot of pressure." Ford now has the Mustang Mach-E and just announced the F-150 Lightning. The vehicle is incredibly compelling because it fits the bill for what truck buyers want, but also includes some great specs at a reasonable price, right in line with the promised price of the Tesla Cybertruck. If you compare the Cybertruck to the F-150 directly, there should be some advantages for Tesla, but trucks are a very specific thing, and one particular draw for the F-150 is its incredibly large front trunk. This adds significant space to the cargo capacity of the already incredibly popular F-150. A new poll comparing electric trucks shows that the Tesla Cybertruck and Ford F-150 are neck and neck in consumer demand. There are a number of compelling electric cars coming to market in the next few years, including the Rivian R1T, Cybertruck, Hummer EV, Chevy Silverado Electric, F-150 Lightning, Lordstown Endurance, and more. However, Tesla has a significant advantage producing electric cars. This new poll took responses from 28,000 people interested in buying a truck and found that the majority would like to buy an electric pickup truck. The question was, with most automobile brands going electric, do you have plans to buy an electric vehicle in the near future? 25% yes, mostly a pickup truck. 23% said yes, but not a pickup truck. 31% said no, and 21% said not sure. This is good news for electric vehicles as a whole, but the follow-up question is where it gets most interesting. When asked if you plan to buy an electric pickup truck soon, then which among the following would you most be interested in? Ford has the most at 25% interested in the F-150 Lightning, but Tesla was right behind with the Cybertruck at 24%. The Chevy Silverado Electric is at 23%, and then the rest fall far behind after the GMC Hummer Electric at 12%. To be honest, this poll is surprising to me in that it still favors the Cybertruck. Even amongst 28,000 people, the Ford F-150 is barely beating out the wild design of the Tesla Cybertruck. However, the Cybertruck is seeing way more demand than the F-150 that people aren't really paying full attention to. It's great to see that the F-150 passed more than 44,500 pre-orders in its first 48 hours after its launch. However, the Cybertruck saw about 146,000 pre-orders in its 48 hours after launch. Later, Elon updated that to 187,000, 200,000, and 250,000, and the latest for the Cybertruck pre-orders shows an estimate topping 1 million pre-orders for the Cybertruck. There are many factors at play here, including multiple pre-orders from die-hard Tesla fans, fleet orders, and more, so pre-order numbers don't entirely reflect demand. Additionally, neither of these cars have been seen, and Tesla and tech fans tend to pre-order things more than the average truck buyer. A die-hard truck fan will likely take a little more convincing for an electric truck compared to your average tech fan who wants a wild-looking Cybertruck. Still, if we cut Cybertruck orders in half to account for a variety of cancellation reasons, this is already 500,000 Cybertruck pre-orders. Calling the demand for these trucks equal based on this poll, or calling the F-150 demand higher than the Cybertruck, really makes no sense. This isn't to bash Ford or anything, and I'm genuinely excited for this truck and its popularity, along with Elon Musk. It's just important to be realistic about what is going on here and not just assume that every truck buyer will automatically buy an F-150 Lightning because it should ship soon and Ford is established for trucks. Tesla isn't playing the same game as these companies, yet they are still winning. The F-150 Lightning is impressive and will sell without issue, but is Tesla scared? Time will tell, but it seems that they will do just fine with the Cybertruck. Additionally, Ford will likely end up with some battery supply issues that they haven't thought about yet. Tesla, on the other hand, is ramping up with suppliers and building their own battery cell factories, as I mentioned earlier, to take care of this issue before it becomes a big problem. Ford is also planning a whole lineup of electric vehicles based on this platform that they are developing, which is great to see. They are planning an electric Explorer, a Lincoln version of that same car, and a possible electric Bronco as well. Ford's communication manager said, quote, "Yes, we will fully electrify Explorer as you might expect, given our plan to deliver 40% of our lineup as fully electric vehicles by 2030. We will continue playing to our strengths and electrify our icons in high volume segments that we dominate today. We'll share details later." And they also shared a few teaser photos of the vehicles and what they will look like built on this platform. Great to see these vehicles from Ford. I just wish they were a little bit more aggressive than 40% EVs by 2030. Next up, some very interesting data from April shows that the Tesla Model Y is now overtaking the Tesla Model 3 in global sales figures. Around 392,000 electric vehicles were registered globally in April. Tesla had second and third place with the Model Y and 3, and this is the first time that they have sold more Model Ys than 3s. In first place is a small Chinese EV that sold around 29,251 units for the month. Tesla registered 16,232 Model Ys in April and 14,980 Model 3s. This actually comes as no surprise, as this is what Tesla has expected from the beginning of the Model Y. Elon Musk originally said he expects the Model Y to outsell the Model S, X, and 3 combined. At Tesla's earnings call in early 2021, he further said that he thinks it will become the top-selling vehicle of any kind in 2022 or 2023, following that up with a tweet saying, "Seems quite likely, at least based on revenue in 2022 and possibly total units in 2023. For year to date, the Model 3 still beats the Model Y, but this is the first sign of what we will see in greater numbers once Tesla is building the Model Y out of Berlin and Texas towards the end of this year. The Model Y has not been delivered in Europe yet, and that will be a huge boost for sales of that car. Regarding the new Plaid Model S, which should now be launching on June 10th at Tesla's factory, Tesla has reportedly achieved a new quarter-mile record time with a 9.2-second run. This comes according to Jay Leno, who was at the racetrack when Tesla attempted the record. Tesla has been testing out various Plaid and Plaid Plus prototypes in the last few weeks, with a possible new retractable spoiler coming to the Plaid Plus model. Now it seems that they have achieved this record, and it was leaked by Jay Leno on an episode of Spike's Car Radio podcast. He said that he was at the Famoso Raceway in Bakersfield last month watching Tesla break this record, and saw the Plaid Model S run the quarter mile in 9.247 seconds at 152 miles per hour. Apparently, a National Hot Rod Association official was there to make this official. This makes the Plaid Model S the fastest production vehicle ever based on the quarter mile, and that confirms what Tesla has said on their website for a while now. They quote a 1.99 second 0 to 60 and a 9.23 second quarter mile. This puts the Model S up there with insane exotic vehicles like the Bugatti Chiron Sport, Porsche 911, McLaren P1, and more for a quarter mile. It's absolutely crazy to see this from a four-door electric sedan, and it's another step in Tesla's overall mission to prove that electric vehicles not only make sense, but are better than gasoline vehicles all around. Next up, some exciting news for the future of electric vehicle charging. Tesla has their own supercharger network, which is by far one of their biggest advantages. Most road trips are possible and stress-free thanks to over 25,000 stations worldwide, but hardly any other vehicle manufacturers are considering the desperate need for a reliable charging network. There are third-party companies like EVgo, ChargePoint, Ionity, Electrify America, and more, but they are still not as easily accessible or reliable as Tesla's supercharger. Now, 7-Eleven has announced that they plan to install 500 fast charge ports at select convenience stores before 2023. They say that this will give them, quote, one of the largest and most compatible fast charging systems of any retailer in the US. Adding 500 charging ports at 250 7-Eleven stores will make EV charging more convenient and help accelerate broader adoption of EVs and alternative fuels. Any new charging network is great news for electric vehicle. Hopefully it's fast enough though, since even an average J1772 plug won't offer too much range in the typical time you'd be spending at a 7-Eleven stop. Last up today, BMW released the pricing for two of their upcoming i4 models that should be coming by the end of 2022. This is a fully electric sedan, and the pricing is surprisingly cheaper than most expected. We can see detailed photos of the interior, and the price of the BMW i4 eDrive 40 is $55,400 plus a $1,000 destination fee. Everything is estimated and preliminary, but it should get a 5.5 second 0 to 60 and a 300-mile range. The performance model is a BMW i4 M50 coming in at $65,900 with a 3.7 second 0 to 60 and 240-mile range. These numbers still don't quite compete with the Model 3, but they are closer than expected, and it's great to see another compelling EV coming from a well-established brand like BMW. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see a breakdown on what features Tesla has been removing from their cars lately, you can check out that video linked over here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.